Blue Collar Millionaires, it's good to see y'all. I know we've had a couple of weeks where we've been absent from the live, and me and Kevin wanted to come on here. And I know that probably the biggest just hurdle and obstacle for business owners is we hit a point where we're just at a plateau. We hit the hurdle, and it's like we're beating our head against a brick wall, trying to figure out how to get over that hurdle. And what I have realized is it doesn't take a special person to be able to achieve scalability in a business. It doesn't take a mastermind, someone that had straight A's. Matter of fact, some of the people that have had the worst grades in school are the ones that have had the most success. And I think, and me and Kevin both agree, that it's really because those people got focused on a couple of tactics and they went just 100% on those tactics, and that scaled their business. It was really a matter of putting a lot of action in and staying very focused. This is how Kevin got into multiple states. He put a lot of action in one or two things, got very focused, and just kept consistency in that action. So regardless of whether you're just starting your business or you're over $1 million in revenue, whatever your situation is, we all kind of hit that place of a hurdle. And it's just a little bit of information and a little bit of belief that gets us over the hurdle. So we wanted to kind of run through some tactics that we've achieved in our current businesses. And we wanted to kind of celebrate, hopefully, some success that you'll achieve out of taking one or two of these tactics, applying it in your current business, and accelerating the growth. I went through like a 2 or 3 year period to where I was just stuck trying to move from technician, get out of the service vehicle, into where I was managing my business. I was mentoring my team members. I was expanding on ideas for growth. And I spent thousands upon thousands of dollars, literally 3 different coaches, over 10 grand a pop for each coach. And finally, I realized it's just one or two things, daily action on. So Kevin, what's your thoughts on that? What's the first thing that we really want to launch out there and kind of let them start to think about that might push them over their hurdle?
Well, we're going to have 2 programs. We're going to have Boardroom Elite, and that's going to be the higher level program. That's going to be weekly calls, virtual calls. You're going to have a library of videos, documents, all kinds of stuff Chris and I use. Like, for example, one is a lot of you guys know I've gotten thousands and thousands of apartment complex condominium association. I did about a 75-minute Zoom with Chris, and I broke it down on how I did it and how I got it and how somebody else can do it. That's in the library.
Yeah, how to build the list. Then you told us how to reach out. Then you told us what that communication sounded like during that reaching out.
So a lot of you guys are up on Alex Hormozy and the cold outreach and everything. I've been doing it for years. I mean, he's dead on. It works. You just have to do it a certain way. And you really got to, this is what it is for Boardroom Elite and Boardroom, is there's too many programs out here. There's too many courses. There's too many events where it's not tactical. I go to excuse me. I go to an event. I want to come out with tactical stuff. Like, how do I do this? And people don't know. They talk, it's great mindset and all kinds of other stuff. You need all that, but you need tactical stuff. So if I'm going to teach people like that, when I'm talking, teaching, and putting stuff in the library, that's 100% what I'm doing. Is like, how do I show this guy how to do this, that he's going to actually make lots of money in real life? That's how I want you guys to think about this. And then I want you to think of, okay, I'm going to learn this. They're going to be teaching it. There's going to be stuff in the library. I'm going to get feedback every week. But if you're in the Boardroom Elite, you're going to have access to us. You can ask questions all the time. We're going to have a private Facebook group. I might be doing lives, question and answers on Saturdays. Set that up. I don't know. Like, I can't even imagine of how that would have helped me 25 years ago. Forget it. Much less time. I was out on an island. I was just figuring out. So were you, Chris?
We were, and the y'all watching, you're the
And
same
a
way.
lot of you guys are, right? A lot of you guys
Yeah.
are. I
So
know a lot of.
what's some of the stuff? Like, for instance, one of my first thoughts is when I first started, I wanted some consistency and I wanted some security in knowing I would have revenue coming in over and over again, and I didn't have to kill to eat every single time.
Yep.
So I wanted more of like what an analogy would be farming. You sit there and farm, and then you've got a harvest that's just fills your supply house full. So for me, I started in as the floor cleaning, and I went and knocked on commercial doors. I didn't go stick out flyers or direct mailers to try to get residential, because residential was going to use me once, maybe a year in a floor cleaning situation. But on a commercial aspect, if I went to restaurants, their floors are getting super nasty because people are eating above them. And I knew I could probably get in there somewhere around every 30 days to clean. So that was my tactic right there to build up a recurring revenue, so that I would get my bills and my overhead paid for. So that might be one tactic that you guys need to go out, and we would tell you, hey, this is how you approach them. This is what the language that they're speaking, and this is their problems that you should be solving when you reach out to commercial. Kevin, you did it for the gutter cleaning. I mean, you knew the gutters were going to be a repeatable thing. You knew that they had to do it. There was a lot of real estate and damage at
Yep.
stake if they didn't.
You know, a lot of this stuff, it was just really what I was thinking about it all the time. So it was kind of natural for me. I was always thinking about the recurring revenue model. But I see so many guys, they're in the wrong vehicle. It's not that their business is wrong. They just need to add stuff, and they really need to get focused on that. They create this like hamster wheel for themselves, and they can never get off it. You got to look at that, and that's what kind of feedback we're going to get. You're going to say, listen, your business, this is your best path to netting $1 million a year. Like, this is what your life will look like if you can get it to that. And here's tactical stuff that can get you there. Because I just see guys, too many guys just get up and hunt every day. And they're always looking for the next lead, and they're always looking for the next employee. And I've done all these things. I know this.
So what if you sat there and you said, okay, what if you sat there and said, who is talking to my customer when they need me? And you went after the person that's in contact with your customer instead of going after the customer. Now
Yep.
you're building an army of marketing experts, an army of salespeople, and you tell them and incentivize them by paying them on the backside. If you're
Yeah.
a home service person, realtors is the very first thing across all the industries that I think a home service professional should be marketing towards. They should be telling them, hey, here's what I offer. Here's what I'm going to do for you for every customer that you bring to me. For me, on my disaster cleanup, it's plumbers. Plumbers are right there when the water breaks. The other person would be the insurance agent. They're the one of those two is getting the phone call first, and I need to be on that person's lips. They need to be referring me. So this is why we wine and dine those two people, because they are excellent referral partners. So the question is who is that? And then how do you teach them so that they know how to sell you, and they are also incentivized by referring you? Because don't get it wrong, you're going to have to incentivize them, just like if you stuck somebody on your payroll. The difference is this person is not sitting there waiting for a 40-hour week check. This person is out there already collecting their money, doing their normal job. You're just adding a new revenue stream to their lifestyle. So this is something that we're going to be going over in the boardroom, because these are tactics that we've used to scale. We are still not out there door knocking. We have figured out how to put scalability into our marketing efforts.
Yeah. You guys, this is what we teach in the mastermind, but we're going to be doing it virtually and doing it like this. But to give you an example, you're going to hear me talk about being reverse engineering stuff. It's my favorite word because it's so true. But we're going to reverse engineer everything, like affiliate marketing. This is the problem people do. They understand the theory of, okay, yeah, I'm a restoration guy. I get a bunch of plumbers, right? And they send me work, but they don't really know how to go about it. You got to almost go the other way. So show me a plumber. Like, let's talk about one plumber that's making $30,000 a year on referrals from you, that He's super happy. He loves talking about you. He knows how to talk to your customers. He sells them. And then you just like create that avatar. And then you say, all right, how would I get here? Because you're going to have to teach people how to sell. You're going to have to teach them, talk to them. You're going to have to go meet them. You're going to have to pay them. Of course, you're going to have to organize all this. That's what people do wrong, is they just do it in theory. I see people do that even for the complexes. Like, yeah, I'll just go commercial. I'll get like hundreds of complexes. How? Like so we're going to talk to you tactical. We're going to show you how to do that. Like, okay, this is what it looks like if you're doing hundreds of complexes. And then here's all the steps. And then you look at it and you're like, I can do this. This is really doable. So the same thing with affiliate marketing. It's so powerful.
What if you wanted to get in the churches and we said, okay, let's whiteboard for a second. Yeah. We're going to make this circle and we're going to write church right inside the circle. Then we're going to take these little offshoots, and all these offshoots are going to be names of people that go inside of this church. And this right here is your target referral partners, this little sunshine of these rays. So these rays coming off this sunshine. So like audio visual person. What about the copier guy? And all the paperwork. I mean, they have a ton of flyers and stuff that they give out in churches. What about the janitorial company? What about the dry cleaning company for all the choir robes? Who else might be going in there? What about the person that buffs and waxes the floors? Like, if you can sit here and say all these people, now you've got a target audience, and you don't go after one church. You go after that video audio person, and that person's in multiple churches.
Absolutely.
And now you're getting into multiple, and this is what this is the tactical stuff. You say, I want churches. I'm going to get churches. That's what's going to grow. Okay, well, how are you going to get them instead of having to go knock on the door of each and every church? And how can you stay in their face? Because a warm lead's way better than a cold lead. So when someone refers you, you've instantly built some trust that you didn't even have to work on.
Everybody knows that when you get a warm lead, even if somebody gives you basically take them. Unless they send you an outrageous price, you already know you're going to use them.
That's it.
But that's the thing, is you got to get around the players in affiliate marketing. So who's the guy that does 9 other churches?
Right.
The food service guy, and they specialize in that. What I made a mistake when I was young is I was talking to my buddies like that had very small businesses, weren't motivated. And like, I had this idea of like, yeah, we'll get referrals together, but they couldn't bring me any stuff. I had much more work than them. I should have been focused on meeting higher level people and making real deals. It's a huge mistake I made back then.
That's a really big thing that a lot of people try to skip. And I understand if you're an introvert, but the thing is most of the people, when they go out to network, they're uncomfortable too when they walk into a fresh room. I just went out with my sales guy into the new market we just expanded into last week. It was a little uncomfortable for me. I didn't know anybody there, but you know what? I just, bulldozed through the discomfort and immediately went up and shook someone's hand and said, hey, I'm Chris. What's your name? What do you do? And I just asked them questions about themselves. Networking is something that you cannot skip. Now, if you don't do it, you need someone doing it for your business. This is exactly what I grew and bootstrapped on. Is I went to every event I possibly could. So your Chamber of Commerce is the very first thing that you should get plugged into in your marketplace if you're a local service-based business. And then you should check out groups like BNI. And then you should be going and shaking hands constantly, asking that person when you meet them for the first time what their name is, what they do. Collect their information and follow up with the text the next day saying it was nice to meet you. It's how much you're putting in is going to be determining how much you can withdraw. It's just like a bank account. You don't make any deposits, you're not going to have anything to withdraw from. So you got to look and say, what is my efforts? What are my deposits I'm making daily? If you've got a team, what is my team's deposits they are making daily for me to be able to scale? It starts in the marketing department, and then you got to fulfill it. But if you don't have leads coming in, there's no reason to even have a fulfillment department. So you got to start with the marketing, get your leads in, get them contracted. Then we start working on the fulfillment side. This is where me and Kevin will talk about how we do the subcontractors, how we work our W-2s, how we keep them incentivized, how they're in alignment with the business growth, and they don't just show up for an hourly rate of pay. But if we grow as a business, then they grow their personal as well.
You know, let's talk about what the avatar looks like for somebody in this group. Like, and what do they get? So, Chris, you're a guy, you want to get it. So we're having the Boardroom Elite, that's weekly, and then we're going to have the regular boardroom. It's going to be a one-time monthly thing. They're going to be separate. They're going to have separate Facebook groups. We'll just go over it quick. The boardroom guys. So if you are starting a business, you're in the beginning stages. What do we say? Under how much you're doing?
Under $1 million. If you're under $1 million in gross revenue, you probably will find your best fit in the boardroom. Boardroom or Boardroom Elite. So the boardroom is going to be your entry scaling group.
I mean, a guy who's doing 600 grand, he should be in the Boardroom Elite because he wants to get to 2 million. Yeah.
So this is where a conversation is.
Yeah, we'll have to talk to guys about this. It's going to be one-on-one. We want to put people in the right room. The boardroom it's almost like the JV team to get on the varsity team, because we want guys to not be discouraged, and we don't want to be talking too big. But the Boardroom Elite members, I mean, they're going to come in every week. They're going to have questions. We're going to have talk about one subject each week. We're going to talk about that for, say, 30, 40 minutes. And then we're going to have 15, 20 minutes questions and answers. You're going to have access to us. We're going to answer questions. You're going to know people in the group. You're going to we do masterminds. We're doing another one probably early February now. You'll have $1,000 off that if you want to go.
That's the Boardroom Elite.
Yeah, the Boardroom Elite. I mean, I know what I would want to be in my 20. I want to be in Boardroom Elite because I want to get this shit going.
Yeah. So here's what it boils down to. You got Boardroom and Boardroom Elite. Boardroom is a lower cost per month. You get a live Zoom where you can plug in once a month, where we're going to sit here and talk about a particular topic and answer questions. You're going to have a private Facebook group where you can ask questions and get real-time answers. Mm-hmm. You're going to have a vault where you can pull from that'll have trainings. It will also have things like our standard operating process templates, our KPI templates for certain positions. It'll have an organizational chart template. And all of this is basic stuff that you need as a foundation for your business before you start growing rapidly. Because when you start getting over the $1 million revenue mark, you're going to start seeing breakdowns if you don't have this foundational stuff built in. And it's pretty much going to teach you how to get your first hire, how to get the training process and the onboard training. Because as you're scaling with your leads, you're going to have to build your team out. And it's not a one size fits all. So like for Kevin, his team was built out through 1099 subcontractors. Me personally, in my market, my team is built out through W-2 payroll, where I have payroll taxes that I have to pay on top of my employees. They come work for me 40 hours, put a uniform on, and they're told exactly how to process a scene. Then once you get to that position, you can graduate up, or if you're already at that position, you may want to enter straight into the Boardroom Elite. Now, the Boardroom Elite is where we do a little more advanced training, and we're also talking once a week on a Zoom call. You have your own private Facebook group where you can get real-time question and answers processed. You also, the cool thing about the private Facebook group is you're going to hear information from your other peers as well. It's not just me or Kevin. You're going to hear it from the peers, so you get a lot of different ideas to bounce off and decide, does this fit your model of a business? But we're going to have how to buy businesses, because a strategy of scaling a business once you hit a certain mark is to do roll-ups and to do bolt-ons. So you need to know what those mechanics look like on how to purchase a business to really rapid fire the acceleration growth. You're also going to get the training that Kevin just did with me and my sales guy on how to build a list of commercial facilities and how to email market them, which was massive, massive value. You've got this Google Vault that's going to unlock all of the documents, all the templates, and the training courses. But more importantly, you're getting those 3 extra live Zoom calls, and then you get that $1,000 off of any live event that we throw, which we plan on doing 2 a year. So that'll be an amazing networking opportunity there.
Yeah, and another thing, you'll learn how to use virtual assistants. If for you guys who are ROI guys, return on investment, just learning how to use virtual assistants, you'll save so much money and make money, because I show you how to make money with virtual assistants, not just save money. You'll make more money, way more money than you're ever paying on the monthly thing. It's a drop in the hat at that point. And that's how I like to look at stuff. Sometimes I like, hey, what will be my return on investment? But yeah, getting in that group and then learning from what other people are doing, what's working, and then have access. And then, the Boardroom Elite, Chris and I have something called the War Room. I mean, we're doing a deal right now. I was there last week. You guys might have saw me on Facebook. I'm doing it with Matt Nettles, and that's because he was in the War Room and because I got to know him and I knew, like, and trusted him, and vice versa. He wanted to bring me on, and that's how we do deals. So that's opportunities for us all as well. So if you're not, everybody who's in this, we'll set up calls. Matt's actually going to do the one who's going to do the calls, and then we'll know which one you need to be in. But the higher level guys, you're really growing this business fast, you go Boardroom Elite, but it doesn't have to be scary for people who are smaller and need a little more time. You just go in the boardroom.
Yeah, it's really going to boil down to affordability. And that's why we decided to do 2 different models. So here's what we want you guys to do. In the comments, we want you to put more. If you are interested in getting more information on the Boardroom or the Boardroom Elite, we just want you to simply comment more. We will reach out to you. We will send you a direct message. We'll have a conversation. We'll explain what the offer is. We want to know a little bit more about your situation so we know the best placement for you. Because if we can't help you, we don't want you in these rooms. It is all about you maximizing your dollar and you getting to the number that you want to get to. So there will be some goal setting involved so that we can understand what your desirability is on a revenue and a profit number. We want to find out who your customer avatars are. So that'll be some of that problem solving onboarding process. Because if we know who your customer avatar is, then you're going to have a boardroom of experts that can sit here and help you brainstorm on how to get in front of that avatar. And if you can get their eyeballs looking at you, you'll start making sales. And the next bottleneck is to make sure that you can just flow through the fulfillment portion, have enough staff so that they can service these customers and you can start collecting the paychecks. This is how you build the lifestyle of the business that works for you and not you that works for the business. Because ultimately, that's why we became an entrepreneur and started our own businesses, right? We wanted a business that worked for us. We wanted to be a business owner, and a business owner is someone that owns systems and processes. That's what a business owner is.
Chris, I'm sure you get these messages. I get these messages all the time, especially when I'm in an event or I'm at the deal maker. I'm with a couple guys and they say, man, I need to get in rooms like that. I got to get friends like that. Yeah. So this is how you do it.
Exactly how you do it.
Get in virtual rooms and you go to events and everything and people know you. You go there, you're in the Boardroom Elite. I know about your business. The other second part, and this is up to you, but I would highly suggest it, is if you're in the Boardroom Elite, I would share, and you don't have to do this with the group. The group's not going to be that big. But with Chris and I would share, and with Matt on that call, where you really are. Accurate numbers of where you are in sales, what you're netting. If you don't, just to give accurate numbers, I think a lot of guys don't do that, and it's harder to help those guys.
Exactly.
They're like, yeah, I'm doing like this, like this. I don't know what like means. Like, everybody knows what they grossed last year. They can look it up.
That's it.
And do you want to improve it? That's what I want. So if you did 1.2 last year and you netted $180,000, okay, that's how do we get you so you make $500,000 net? That's all I'm going to be talking about. That's what I want you to do. And I made a video. It's funny on TikTok because I was getting blasted on it. I said, if you want to make $1 million a year, get around people who, if they made $1 million a year, they'd be banging their head against the wall. Be the worst year in their life. That's how I want people to come in here. So yeah, making $500,000. I mean, that's awesome. That's great. But yeah, if I make $500,000 in my business, I got a big fucking problem.
You're going backwards. Yeah.
Hell to the no. So you got to get around people who've been there. I know what it's like the first year when I was a landscaper, I grossed like $39,000 gross. Was like 17 years old. I know what that's like. I mean, it was a long time ago, but
me and you both, man.
Boom, boom, boom. Yeah.
And everybody,
like, man, is this even worth it? This is a lot of work.
And that's what happens. And we understand the frustration. Alex Hormozy mentioned this, and he's got a lot of good content. So you've heard me and Kevin lately communicate his name, but he talks about the education expense. He said, if you're not making $1 million and let's just say you're making 250, then you got $750,000 in education that you're paying for every year that you're not making $1 million. That's an expensive education. And you don't know what you don't know. So how do you get the knowledge? You plug into groups, you plug in and get around people that are doing what you're wanting to be doing. Then you can ask the questions. Then you can explain where you're at. So I'm going to say that again. If you're making 250,000, let's make it more realistic. Let's say you're making 100,000 right now, and you're wanting to net $1 million. Then your cost of education for not knowing something is 900,000.
Yeah.
And the boardroom is way less than that. So what if you grab that one tactic that allowed you over the next 12 months to get to that $1 million net? Would it be worth it? Absolutely. Every one of us would choose that all day long.
You know, going back to the numbers thing, I want to just say something my mom said. I just like this line she said. She says, you know, when you talk to people about money, they don't like, you could never go ask somebody how much they make at their W-2. It would be super rude. But if you ask them how much they gross in business, a lot of entrepreneurs will tell you. And she said, you know why that is? Because if you make $74,000 at a job, you're basically telling that person, well, I'll be making 76,000 next year, 79, I hope, in 3 years. But she's like, if you tell somebody you're grossing 400,000, she was like, look at how your business grew. You might be grossing 3 million in a couple years, 9 million. Like that's why it's so different, because you're telling someone in hopes that they can help you hockey stick. Or why would you tell somebody you make 72 grand? What are they going to do for you?
I heard this little catchphrase and I thought it was super cool. And somebody said, gross revenue is vanity.
Yeah.
And then net revenue is sanity. So your profit is sanity.
Like
that's
that.
What's actually going in. And people love to talk about the gross revenue, and that's okay. Whatever gives you confidence right now. But what we really want you to be able to brag about is your net revenue, your profit that goes to the bank, because that is where your sanity is found. That is where your confidence is found, because when you've got enough revenue will solve most problems. And this is what our goal inside the boardroom is to get you to a higher level of profits so that you can solve problems when they come your way. Because it is amazing how much more confident and calm when a problem happens and you got money in the bank that you can solve it with.
Yeah, you guys need that. I mean, I was talking to 2 different guys in the last week, and they were telling me what they're spending on marketing, what their return is, and everything. And I gave them my feedback on it. You need good feedback like that, because I've been there and I can tell you what I think. Do more of that, or pivot a little bit. You need to find this. You don't get these answers just asking your buddy. Your buddy doesn't know.
That's it, man. So
you can't do it. So hey, I see some people in here already putting it. For whatever reason, I can't see names.
Y'all share this. If you know somebody else that's a business owner, go ahead and share it. Let them know that we're taking a wait list right now. And at some point, we're going to open up the doors. Our war room guys have already merged over to our boardroom because that was strictly acquisitions. And now that's just a strategy for scaling. We've seen some success, and we like to want to see more success. And we know a ton of you guys have businesses out there. And if me and Kevin would have had this, we would have got to our locations much faster if we would have had access to these answers when questions arose. And here's the biggest thing I found out. Most people don't even know what their questions are. But if you sit there and you'll say, hey, here's where I'm at. Here's current business model. here's my technicians, my team size, here's my customer base, here's what kind of jobs we're doing, then we are your brainstorming session, your whiteboarding session. And we can literally say, oh man, dude, if you make this one pivot is going to take you extraordinary places. And you just thought you were going to do this number, but you're really going to do this number in 12 months. I mean, that's what you want to be around. Someone that understands the path you're at right now and can tell you how to accelerate it. And this is what we're going to do.
Yeah, we're going to talk about creating the lifestyle you want. Here's a perfect example. This is when you learn these things, you implement them. You got to implement them. You track them. You improve on them. You will do essentially less work and make way more money. Chris, what if I told you 10 years ago, yeah, you're going to be on like Zooms with Kevin at 11 o'clock just talking? I would have been like, nah, that's not going to work for me, bro. I got too much shit to talk about. What? No way. There's no way you would have got me. I would have like my face would be dirty. I'd be carrying a ladder. I remember my friends. I remember my girlfriend back then. I would just tell her, don't call me. Leave me. I'll talk to you later. Like, I didn't even want 30 seconds. It's chaos. Let's slow it down and make much more money. And I think about I wasn't making that much money. Crazy. And I know guys are doing that. That's why we built this group. I want to show guys a better way. We're doing this so we can send our kids to college, go on vacation, live in nice homes, have security. Basically show everybody this was smart going into business. Look I exited my business for millions of dollars. I was 42 years old.
Yeah.
This is very realistic. Very realistic.
It's amazing how many people did so crappy in school, but they get out, they own their own business, they start taking charge, they start doing alternative education like this stuff right here, and what they make out of themselves. I mean, over and over and over, I've heard that story. And if you make straight A's, great. Then you'll be even better at it. But if you made D's and F's and C's, then come and try your hand at really pushing a business. Stop being the solopreneur. Here's the danger with having your own business and not having a team built around you. What happens if your health fails tomorrow? Your income is gone. You don't have a pension to rely on. You probably don't have a 401k. Probably don't even have health care because you're a solopreneur and you don't make enough to even afford it. So you're just hoping that you stay healthy. You've got to build in risk mitigation. And the only way to do that is to scale. There's so many benefits in scaling a business and so many risk when you stay small. Stop thinking you want to stay small. Stop thinking the 150,000 a year is okay. You have got to scale it because your family, your offspring, you've got to do it.
Yeah, just that we're talking about risk mitigation. One of our things I'm going to do is I'm going to go over insurance, talk to you about workers' comp class codes and how to save money completely legally and know it. I was an insurance agent. I get audited every year. I win every year because that's what I used to do. The guy was like, how do you know all this about? I'm like, I don't know. Like, I will show you how to win audits, make all these things. This is all, I'm the last gutter guy they want to do an audit against.
All right. So y'all hit more in the comments. We will reach out in a direct message. We want to onboard you and find out what group is the best fit for you. If you're ready to scale your business, and only if you're ready to scale your business and to make an investment in yourself, then hit more. We'll reach out. We'll have the conversation. We'll get you the right fit. We'll put you on the list. And then when we open up access, we'll make sure that you get in there because we want to see, and more importantly, me and Kevin are going to have so much, just satisfaction in knowing we had a little part of helping you reach your goals.
Chris, when are we starting?
So I'm going to say we do the onboarding. I don't even want to release the launch date, Kevin.
Okay.
It's
going to be soon, though.
It's going to be very, very soon. So if you'll put more, we'll talk to you. We'll discuss all of that. Let's just find who this is going to benefit. And then let's see you guys be a testimony to the world because they'll realize that you made an investment on yourself and they'll be wishing they just did it and wanting in at that point.
Absolutely. All right, guys, message us, put in the comments. We'll check them.
See you later.
All right. Bye.